one game headed up can think that this has anything to do with Aaron Rodgers' legacy this week. If I'm not mistaken, a couple of years back, Aaron Rodgers opened the season in week 1 with 5 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers ended up being the MVP. And it may not have been 5. It was a ton, right, against the New Orleans Saints. He ended up being the league MVP, and he won MVP 2 years in a row. Now, are we going to sit here and overanalyze game 1? And we're going to talk about whether or not Aaron Rodgers was protected, how Aaron Rodgers was able to connect, or what sort of chemistry he had with Garrett Wilson. And are we going to break it down and make it a bigger deal than it actually is? Because in the end, one of 3 things can happen to the New York Jets this week. They could be 1-0, they could be 0-1, they could be 0-0-1. But that's it. That's all that can happen. And that doesn't mean that this remains the same team for the next 17 weeks. That doesn't mean they don't get better. That doesn't mean they don't lose players. That doesn't mean they don't add somebody at the trade deadline. This is about one game. This is about finding a way to go up 1-0 in the AFC East, which is going to be incredibly tough. This is about understanding that next week I got to go to Detroit. I got to go to Dallas. So if I got to go to Dallas, it would be nice to go into Dallas 1-0. It would be nice to have found some protection for Aaron Rodgers so I know somebody's going to be able to block number 11 next week in Dallas. That's what this means. This means we have to find a way to build to be something else. We have to remember how Tom Brady started the season in Tampa. They weren't great. They got stumped out by the Saints 2 times that year. This team is going to have to grow into what they are. And so anybody who says Aaron Rodgers, the 4-time MVP, the only person that would say this game has anything to do with Aaron Rodgers' legacy is Jihad Ward from the New York Giants, who apparently doesn't know who Aaron Rodgers is, and Aaron Rodgers has to tell him who he really is. That's the only person that think his legacy might be at stake this week.
Okay. Let me help you out, RC, because clearly you need help this morning.
I don't need help.
Get him some milk. He need to wake up a little bit.
He's up. We got him up. You got him up now.
Put some Folgers.
We got him up now, all right? You need some help. First of all, understand, son, RC, from a literal perspective, you're absolutely right about it being week 1 of the NFL season. But you know good and damn well that's not what we're talking about here. Right. You know that. You know we're not talking about just one game. I understand the question from a literal perspective is about the one game. But RC, because I don't want him hot. I want RC on national television right now.
I want to see the Nauru.
I want to see the man. His eyes are not red anymore. He's awake, y'all. Here's the deal, RC. You know, every single game at this stage and point in Aaron Rodgers' career, to me, is a legacy game from the standpoint of how he'll be talked about week to week. For example, he doesn't get to look to New Yorkers and tell folks to relax. Nah, there's no Super Bowl since 1969. There's 68. There's no Super Bowl appearance since that time. He doesn't get to do that now. You wanted the franchise. You wanted respect. You wanted to be elevated to a stature and having a level of cachet when you go into a front office and they don't look you in the face like they did in Green Bay and say, shut up and play. You play, we run the organization. They don't disrespect and dismiss you like that. You have been given everything that you have been asked. I am not speaking literally from the standpoint that week 1 is going to determine it. I'm talking about how people are going to talk about him because of the level of greatness that he's exhibited, because he's a 4-time league MVP, because he's a Super Bowl champion from 2010, and with his greatness years before Patrick Mahomes ever came along, still can't find his damn self back making a Super Bowl appearance. There are 13 quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League who have won multiple Super Bowl champions. Do you know that not a single one of them is considered as a talent better than Aaron Rodgers? Outside of Patrick Mahomes. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, there is not a single quarterback in the history of the National Football League. I'm talking Marino. I'm talking Montana. I'm talking Young. I'm talking Staubach. I'm talking Bradshaw. I'm talking Aikman. I'm talking everybody. None of them outside of Patrick Mahomes is considered a better talent from the quarterback position than Aaron Rodgers. And we were led to believe that part of the reason that he has not enjoyed the success his talents says that he deserves is because the Green Bay Packers didn't revere him to the degree that he deserved to give him the things that he needed in order to win. They didn't even give him a first-round pick at the wide receiver spot. They gave him none of that. This is the first year he's going to be throwing to a first-round pick at the wide receiver spot in all of his years in the National Football League. So I close by reminding you, RC, whereas you are right from a literal perspective, theoretically, as we talk about Aaron Rodgers, what we're saying is you got everything you wanted, bro.
Yes.
And this AFC conference is loaded. What you gonna do? How you think we gonna look at you if you don't get it done? That's all they saying here. That's it.